Weather is that snow you see outside your window, or that storm that is approaching. It's what is going on in the air around you, in that time and in that specific place.
Climate. That is different. Climate is the average weather conditions over a period of time. So we may not know the day-to-day conditions, the weather, but we usually know climate. Winter, spring, summer, autumn. It's climate, and it's predictable. Something which is supposed to be shifting only in hundreds and thousands of years is now shifting in a matter of decades. Imagine if you grew 5 inches in a day. It's those extra 5 inches and that speeding up of time. Really, it's those extra degrees that the temperature is rising in a time frame that is geologically unheard of. That matters. For the skeptics out there, visit this link. But we know the truth. Climate change is real, and it has real effects. Climate change is Hurricane Katrina. Climate change is the extinction of animals. Climate change is famine, death, hunger. Climate change is disease. Climate change is a loss of money. Climate change is real.
Winter sports are in jeopardy because of climate change.
Well, everybody is going to feel this.
It almost looks like the referee just called for a water break.
Well, it does, doesn't it? Because
it does. 100%.
Which is allowed after 30 minutes of each half at the discretion of the referee, and if the temperature is over about 89.6 degrees, I think it is.
The Sochi Olympics suffered some of the most extreme weather of any winter games. Athletes faced fog, rain, and temperatures in the 60s. Research predicts that could become the new reality at skiers.
It has been a sweltering week at the Open, and the heat and humidity is just too much for some of the players. With temperatures above 90 degrees and a muggy air mass hanging over the city, players are cramping and they are dropping out due to heat illness. During the first 2 days alone, 12 players retired from matches, and that is a Grand Slam record for a single round of tennis.
Sports are a part of our culture. We sit around a television or go to games with friends and family, cheering for our favorite teams. What happens when sports can no longer be played? What happens to children who dream of being a professional baseball player? What happens to society as a whole?
Climate change will result in reduced rainfall, increased evaporation, and higher temperatures. More water will be required to water playing fields, and there will be reduced participation in outdoor fitness activities. Think of an athlete getting dizzy because it is too hot and putting himself at a greater risk of respiratory and cardiovascular diseases. Climate change will also result in a sea level rise and more frequent and extreme natural events. There will be a risk of storm or fire damage to sports facilities, as well as the chance that a sports facility would have to be moved elsewhere. There will also be an increase in having to reschedule sporting events because of a storm. During the 2014 Winter Olympics, temperatures reached over 60 degrees. More than 710,000 cubic meters of snow had to be stockpiled over 2 winters to make sure there was enough snow for the events.
Extreme heat halted play at the Australian Open when temperatures reached 109 degrees. The Australian Climate Council stated that heat waves in Australia are becoming more frequent, hotter, and are lasting longer because of climate change.
In New Orleans, the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina had an enormous effect on the city and its infrastructure, especially the Superdome. Few people will forget the images of the Superdome after the flooding in New Orleans. The venue was transformed from a stadium of great fun and excitement into a place of great tragedy.
Qatar has been chosen to host the 2022 World Cup. The tournament will take place in a host country's winter for the first time because of the Emirates' brutal, searing summer.
When climate change severely impacts sports, there will be several devastating impacts to American society. There will be no more athletic role models for children to look up to, families will not have their Sunday night football bonding time, and Americans will need to find other forms of entertainment. Sports have a huge impact on society, even in aspects not commonly thought of, such as economics and mass media. Sports greatly influences values in the community and helps represent the morals and ethics of both athletes and spectators. Sports provide crucial aspects by enhancing the physical and emotional well-being of individuals in society, as well as helping to integrate socioeconomic classes.
Adapt, change, eliminate. You decide.